Hello, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I'd finish off, well, start from the beginning and finish off a demonstration from some shows on Create and Craft. And we're going to be starting with a background using some strips of paper from the Celebration Teals paper pack from Sentimentally Yours, and the card itself is going to incorporate some stamps and some flawless media and some of the new dies from the Shabby Die Collection from Sentimentally Yours. But let's crack on and start doing our background. So what I've done is I've taken some A4 sheets of the pattern paper from the Teals, and I've got a mix of ones with the teal background and the one with the white background, and I've cut them into one inch strips. Now if your trimmer doesn't have 1 inch strips, you can go to use 2 centimeter strips if you want to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them along an A4 piece of copy paper, and this is just A2 or 90 GSM. It doesn't need to be very thick. In fact, you're better off it not being thick, and please don't use card because that will be definitely too thick. So what we're going to do is just alternate gluing these strips together, and I'm obviously going to do it off camera, and just alternating between them. So we need to go back to the heart with the teal background now, and then we'll have this one, and then the dots. And it's best to keep it in multiples of 3. If you're using 3 papers, use multiples of 3. If you're using 4, I would use 2 lots of 4. And there we go. That's what it would look like when it's glued. So I'm going to glue that together, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so now on to the next step. So all of my strips were stuck together, and then I've turned the page the other way around, and I've cut my strips into other strips, which are again 1 inch wide or 2 centimeters, and you can see that they're all in little squares from the background. So, and it is, I must say, it's a good idea to wait until the glue's virtually dry before you actually trim it, because otherwise you might get kind of rough edges to it. So now we're going to actually create our Bargello background. So it's a good idea, I think, to turn the card or turn the paper so it's this way. And again, it's just a piece of copy paper, because that's what you really want to work on. Card is too thick because we're dealing with paper, which is 190 GSM, the pattern paper, onto a piece of copy paper and onto another piece as well. So you can see the thickness is really building up. And if you were talking 270 GSM card, you'd have 540 in card plus 190 GSM on paper, and that's quite thick, isn't it? So we've got one strip down there, and now what we need to do is step down. So by stepping down, I mean that your pattern comes down like this. So you'll see that all your squares are stepping down once, and you can use this one as well. So we can trim that one off at the bottom. And this is why you do a 3 lots of 3 as opposed to just 8 strips across that way. I always forget, and I always get caught out, because then you end up with so much problem trying to match it all up. So this is the easiest way, 3 strips of 3, as I've done. So just stepping down one, like so. And you might find it's off slightly, but just don't stress about that. It's a background. Make sure it's pushed nice and tight against this one, as with your original strips as well. And then this one can go near the top. Should really be using my fuller glue rather than this one. I'll swap in a minute. And that's going to go up there like so. Again, don't worry if it doesn't match perfectly at the top, because we're going to be die cutting this anyway. So then on our next strip, we're going to step down once again. So we've gone down two from the beginning. So once again, you can tell you're doing it right because your pattern is going in diagonals across your paper. And now we can use the bottom two of this. So if we wanted to, we could actually do, you know, a full 8x8 background from this instead of die cutting. Let's hope this glue is running. We'll soon find out, won't we? Yes. So make sure your hearts are up the same way, which is very important when you're doing that first layer. I'm looking at this here now, hoping that mine is right, and it is. And then we can take the 2-piece and pop the 2-piece at the top. Like so. And now, because we've done a 3x3, we know that we can bring our full piece and pop our full piece at the top. So again, we've got, this is still stepping down, but because we've done a 3x3, we've got a full piece at the top. So we continue on, stepping one down and putting the piece at the top, stepping 2 down and putting our piece at the top, and then again we can go up to the top like that, which is our full piece, and then we've got one more piece here which we can step down, and you can see that our patterns are going in a full step down, and obviously those bits I will fill in a moment. So I'm going to do that rather than you watch me do all of that, and then we go on to the next step. Right, so my background's all stuck down now, and the next stage for this particular project is to cut a stitched torn oval out of it. Now you can see that because I've done the 3 strips of 3, I've actually got quite a big area that I can actually keep for another project if I want to. So you know, I could do a border with it, so you know, definitely quite useful. And this is the largest but one of the dies, because I'm going to put a frame around it, and this is a frame I've already got cut, and it's got some teal flawless media paint just around the edges as well, so that's all ready to go. So let's get this die cut and then we'll do the next step as well. Okay, so I've cut out my stitch torn oval, and I've also afterwards run the die cut through the heart lattice embossing folder, so just to keep in line with the hearts that we've got in the background. And I have actually got one that I've already done, but I think I might like this one better, so we might pop this one on top. So just to add a little bit of extra colour to it, what we're going to do is brayer some of the flawless media teal metallic acrylic paint over the top. So I've got a indigo blue paint mat here, and we're going to just pop a little bit of the paint onto that. Kept rolled up in my bag, so it's a bit curly whirly. So let's just pop some of the teal paint onto the acrylic, the paint mat. So the paint mat, the paint behaves slightly differently. It's you get more of a solid coverage on the paint mat. So if you're creating like an ink mat, so if you want to stamp with your paint, this makes a great base for like an ink pad, if you like. So we're just going to pick up this onto our brayer. This is the 4-inch brayer, and then lightly run paint over the top, and that brings out the hearts on our embossed background. Pick up a little bit more. Sorry about my squeaky brayer. That just makes our background look a little bit more interesting. So I definitely like that more than the original one I had. So while we've got the paint just on the mat there, I'm going to just create an ink pad, which here we go. So let's just mist that with a little bit of water. Or a lot of water in my case, and pick it up onto a piece of cut and dry foam. Probably too much water. I'm a bit paranoid. I don't like it to be less water. I like more water when I stamp with it. You do lose a little bit of the metallic because it's so watery. So let's take a strip of card and we'll just go for a block and just see what happens. And I'm going to use one of the Stitch Tab Essential Sentiments from Sentimentally Yours, and I'm going to use one of the solids. We'll just pick out the Have Fun. By solids I mean that the you'll see the Have Fun will be in white and the surround will be in the teal. I might not use this, but this is just to show you. And you can pick up this paint onto a piece of rice paper or onto a piece of card to make a background. You don't need to waste it. So we're going to tap, 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 tap all the way over there. And then stamp onto our card. So we've got Have Fun. So we can continue to do that as many times as we want to while we've still got the ink or the paint available. I keep on calling it ink. We're using it like an ink, that's why. So you can see that when it dries, you do get a little bit of metallic just around the very edges, but it's more for the colour more than anything. So you do need to make sure that you clean that off of your stamp, otherwise it will damage your stamp because it is an acrylic paint and they are multi-surface, so they are going to stick everywhere. The paint mats, the paint comes off really easily, so you don't need to worry about that too much. If you want to reuse your cut and dry, you can just wash that out again straight away. So I've already done some of those. I've got Have Fun, Have a Great Day and Be Happy. So I've got a few that I've already stamped out and cut out, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use those. So we go to our base. Now this is as far as I got when we did the demonstration on the TV, and in the background here I've got the double diamonds embossing folder, but I don't like that so much. I don't know what possessed me to use that really, because I've got hearts in the background and the hearts folder works so much better, but who knows. And you can see on the edges here I've used another one of the papers from the Teal paper pad, and used the Deep Graceful Edges die from Sentimentally Yours. It's one of the new ones, and there's a set of 3 and this is one of them. So I've got those either side, and I'm using Secret Lagoon cardstock here. So this is already stuck on there because I've already got my my background going on, but I'm just going to put that over the top because I prefer that one. Don't worry, we're going to put a frame around it. You won't be able to tell. If you don't tell anybody, then nobody will know. But let's put this to one side for a second. I do want to put something else on here as well. Now we did sell out of these, and I've got none, and there's none on the Honeypot Crafts site at the moment, but I imagine that we'll be able to get some back in stock when if Phil reorders, which I imagine you will. So this is the Cascading Circles, and I'm thinking I'm going to have some Cascading Circles coming in just here and here, and we go, or maybe because where am I going to put the flowers? I don't know. We might have it go here and here then in that case. I don't know what we're going to do, and then we can pick them up onto our frame and then pop our frame onto our background. Now, fortunately for my frame was originally on there. I've used the Creative Expressions, what's it called? Mounting cushion, that's it. And I've got it too thick. So there's 2 sheets stuck together, and you just trim it down to whatever size you want to. And because it's not like normal foam tape, it's kind of repositionable, so I've been able to get it off my background and no problem whatsoever. If that was foam tape, I wouldn't be able to do that. So let's think about how we're having that. Now, if we're going to have these sentiments, we might want to bring one in here. We might want to have one up there. I don't know, we might want to have one there as well. I don't know. Anyway, so if we want to do that, we want to think about our positioning of our flowers and things. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm thinking I've got this left over. So I'm thinking I might not use those. It's just an alternative, isn't it? I've got this left over from my demonstration on another card, so I'm thinking I might want that in the middle instead of, I don't know, I'm very undecided, but what I am decided about is that we're going to use these cascading circles. So let's get our frame on, see if we can pick it up properly, like so. I'm not going to worry about sticking these circles down, because they're going to be captured by the frame, and also by sentiment, if I put a sentiment in the middle. So all I'm going to do is just trim off the extra bits, because I don't actually want them in this case to stick outside the frame. You might want to, but I don't want to on this particular case. They're wonderful dies, these. There's also the hexagons as well, which unfortunately we've sold out of those as well. So if you spot them anywhere, you might want to grab them. Okay, let's pop this onto our card so we cover up what we don't want. Make sure your hearts are facing in the right direction. Do make sure when you use your embossing folder as well that your hearts are facing in the right direction, because you don't want upside down hearts, really. Let's pop this down. We've add a little bit of glue to our frame this time as well, because it's going to stay. This is the one I'm keeping. It's a lovely embossing folder, this heart lattice. I'm sure they all are. There we go. Stand up so I can see where we're going. Definitely don't want to see what we had underneath. I want my hearts to be straight. Ovals are a little bit difficult to line up. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, because it'll all be hidden by the flowers. So I'm still a little bit undecided. Let's do our flowers. So for my flowers, I'm using, I've also got some dragonflies. I'm using a couple of the papers, get rid of all this mess. A couple of the papers from the background. So we've got that one with the white background and the kind of funky hearts, and then we've got the one with the teal background and the different sorts of hearts on top. So this is the Shabby Daisies and this is the Shabby Blossoms, and then we've also got a stamen cut from the pure white card from Sensational Stamens too. Use a moulding mat, and I do still have some of these pre-loved available on my website, so which is juliawatscrafts.co.uk, and you can purchase those if you want to. Let's find an embossing tool. There's never one when you want one, is there? I might use that one. I will go for the big one. This is super big, this one. So what we're going to do for the shaping of these is we're just going to drag them from the tip down on the back, so it becomes a bit like a spider. And the shabby blossoms, the shabby, sorry, daisies will coordinate with your delightful daisies, your dotty daisies and your delicate daisies. So you can use those as well. But obviously we're using them with the shabby blossoms die, but you can use them in the shabby starflowers and the shabby blooms as well. And shabby just means you've got that kind of distressed edge to them, and they're all going to mix and match beautifully. So when we turn this over like that, we can pop a little bit of glue, and the glue that's running in the centre. And just offset these. They won't be a perfect offset because they are not symmetrical. Let's see if we can get it so that I like it. And then we can push down on our ball tool and you get the dimension. So that's those. Then these we're going to treat slightly differently. Why didn't I get my tweezers out? I don't know, Julia. Why didn't you get your tweezers out? There they are. Pointy tweezers. One of a set of 3 from Sentimentally Yours. So with this one, we're just going to pop the tweezers in the centre and pinch. And we go all the way around. You could do them exactly the same way as I did the shabby daisies. You see you've got this lovely deboss vein detail, and you've got that with all of the shabby dies, the flowers and the leaves. Let's do this other one. All the way around. So this is a 6-petal flower. You've got 8 petals on the daisies. And then again, we're going to pop a little bit of glue in the centre. Wet glue really is your friend when you're making flowers, because the flowers keep their shape. So again, I'm going to push up in the centre and you get that dimension. Now for the stamen, we're just going to run the ball tool around the centre, and by doing that then the little stamens shoot up. And with this, just like with Sensational Stamens, with Sensational Stamens 2, you've got 6 different designs, 3 sizes of each, so there's 18 dies in the set. So I'm just going to stack these up. The centre of the daisy, and then the blooms go like so. And again, push it down, and then see, they don't behave, do they? And then we're going to pop a stamen in the centre. There's so many different combinations with these. You can make, you know, carnations. You can make like little buds. This ball tool is far too big. This is one of the Bass and Creative ones, which I do have in stock. And then I've chosen the Aqua Spray pearls. And we're going to use one of the 8mm, and we want our pickup tool because it's easier. Again, a little bit glue in the centre. Don't worry about if you've got glue seepage, because it dries clear and matte. You can always fill in with a bit of glitter if you're that way inclined. And then just press down, and then you've got your flower. And they do tend to keep the shape. If you use wet glue, your shape stays, which is rather marvellous. So that's our flowers. Now for the leaves, we've got the shabby leaves. I've cut them out of the Secret Lagoon, and I've just folded them just in the centre, so you've got a little bit of shape to them. So that's our leaves and flowers all ready to go. I still don't know what sentiments I'm using, so we'll just push on with the flowers because I haven't made my mind up. So we've got a huge flower to go down the bottom there, and we've got some more to go in here, like so. Oh, I don't know if I want to use the one I've just made. No, I don't want to use the one I've just made. I'm just going to have two up there. In fact, I think I'll swap that one for that one and do the smaller ones down the bottom. And those two at the top, like that. I think that's what we'll do. Right, so let's get those on, and also our leaves. So where's my big leaves? So obviously you can add a bit of glitter to your leaves if you want to. It's not going to stick if I add water, is it? I think these are going to be a new favourite with the foliage. And if you didn't catch our earlier Facebook Lives or our shows on Create and Craft, the Shabby foliage has rights and lefts, but instead of just having the right and left large and small, there's the right and left of 5 fronds, there's 3 fronds, there's 2 fronds, and there's 1 frond, or as in 1 leaf. So and they're all different size, well, kind of different sizes. So that means you can make a really full kind of set of foliage if you want to. I mean, obviously you can still kind of pinch off leaves that you might not want to use, but a little bit unruly. Come on, stick for me. I'll grab in a minute. I prefer to use the Sentimentally Yours glue rather than pin flare. That's just me. That's my preference. Okay, so there's those 3, and then we're going to have the 3s up here. Oops. Everything's falling on the floor. I could have gone for some more 5s, but we're going for the 3 fronds up here. Let's get some glue on the back of these while we're at it. And then we'll make a decision about the sentiments. And I feel like to stick his leaves on second. I like to do mine first. There's no right or wrong. There's whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever rocks your boat. Or sails your boat. Whatever. I don't know why I'm saying sayings that don't make sense. Right, okay, so that's that. I will add some extra little leaves. I will add the 2s and the 1s in a moment, but let's try to fathom out what sentiment we're using. So, because we're not doing a Facebook Live, I can't ask you. So we could pop that in the centre. I do quite like that. I do quite like that. Because what we can do is we can take a sponge and pick up. Is my paint dry? No, my paint's still usable. Pick up some paint onto my sponge from my paint mat, and we can just add, this is just a piece of kitchen sponge, you know, the one with the scourer on, because obviously it's got a white edge and we might not want a white edge. Okay, so we can add that in the centre. See, that pops a little bit more, doesn't it? Now it's got a bit of paint on it, so we can do that. We could still bring in a couple of these. So have I got 2 rights? They're both the same way. We could bring in don't want it up there. See, that's going to be in the way now, so that's not going to work. You'd think I'd have worked this out before, wouldn't you? Have a great day. Let's see if we take those away. Be happy. That could be like that. And we could bring in some extra leaves or something to hide that. Have fun. See, I don't like that so much. So I'm not going to use that. We're going to use this. Stop puffing and just do it. Let's pop some foam tape on the edge. I do like this. So this is stamped in Nocturne Versafine Claire, and it is from the stamp set that came in the compendium box kit, the Papier and Paradise Flourish Sentiments, which is a cracking sentiment set. Absolutely love this set. Loads of different extras on there. Again, I've sold out of it. Not sure if you'll still find it at Honeypot Crafts, or if you've got the compendium box kit, well done, you've got it anyway. So let's pop this. I might actually, still fapping. Let's put this in the centre first, or as near as centre as we can get it, because it's another oval. Hopefully that looks okay. We could put one of these in. We could have the have fun. It's not going to fit though, is it? We could have it there. That looks silly. Does it look right? Oh, we could. Should we do that? Let's have that. I think we just stick it though. So I told you faffing around works. So remember, I've stamped this with the paint, the teal paint. I put far too much glue on there. Get rid of some of it. I don't want to go over my... Let's go just there then. Like that. Have a great day. And have fun. Otherwise I'd end up in a homework box and they wouldn't get used by me. So let's put this one down the bottom so that it looks even. I do like the glue because I can move it around a bit until I'm happy. Okay. Does that look alright? Let me have a look. Yeah, that's alright to me. Right, let's add a few more of the leaves in. Oh, we've got dragonflies to put in yet. I forgot my dragonflies. Let's see. We'll see what we do with the dragonflies in a minute. So we can just tuck some more leaves in like so. This is a definite faffing point. Not a tipping point, a faffing point. And if you want two in here, let's have two in there. Just taking a little bit of the stem off. So if you're not a subscriber on my YouTube channel, it would be wonderful if you did. You'll get notified. If you click on the little bell button, you get notified whenever there's a new video. And if you could like or comment on a video, that would be wonderful, because if you just subscribe, then sometimes YouTube thinks that you're spam and it will take you off again. we are trying to get to, both Phil and I, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can do some live streams on YouTube as well, which would be wonderful. Let's just put that one under there like so. And then finally we've got some of the Shabby Dragonflies. So there's you get 2 sizes of the ornate, and then to correspond with the ornate one or the lacy one, then you get 2 solids, so you can put a different colour card underneath. And then there's 2 smaller solid dies as well. So I don't know if you can see, there is beautiful deboss detail along the body. You've got stitch detail, and then obviously you've got the die cut detail as well. So let's have a look, see if we want to actually add these or not, as the case may be. I mean, you could put pearls along the body, which would be rather lovely. So let's have a look. We could have one coming in down here like that. We've got a have a great day now, so we don't want to cover that up. Totally forgot about the dragonflies. Or we can have one just coming in there like that, maybe. Let's do that. Let's do that. Just gluing them on the body. Just like so. And then there are butterflies as well, so if you wanted to tie in with the butterfly on the sentiment, then you can use the Shabby butterflies. Okay, where's his tails underneath there? I don't want his tail under there. Hang on a sec. That's it. That's better. Okay, so we are done and dusted. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget, you can watch it back at any time you want to, and press pause, and you can craft along. Most of the products are available on my website, juliewattscrafts.co.uk. Otherwise, you'll be able to find them on Phil Martin's website, which is honeypotcrafts.co.uk. Once again, thank you for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.